Hello and welcome to the Stress Mastery Podcast. I am your host, Peggy Romero. This week, I am happy to be recording from the tip of the Baja Peninsula, beautiful and sunny Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Thank you for joining me today. When my friend asked me to come down here, I didn't quite realize that it was going to be spring break for the West Coast. So there's a whole bunch of college kids and families, so it's been really fun. I've got to meet a bunch of people. I met a bunch of college boys on the shuttle that were going to a different resort from the airport, so that was fun right off the bat. I met a girl also on the same shuttle who is like a social media girl, so she offered to help me with my Instagram and stuff, so it's been really fun. I've got to talk to lots of families here at the resort, and it kind of reminds me of back in the day when I used to get to bring my kids down here once in a while. So I'm having a great time so far. So this week we've been talking about adjustments. So as a noun, adjustment is a small alteration or movement made to achieve a desired fit or appearance, or result of the process of adapting can be used for a new situation. So, okay, let's use diet as the example. If you're making an adjustment or an alteration, you're doing it to change your appearance, desired fit or appearance, according to the Google. So you just adjust your caloric intake and get a little more movement. That's an adjustment. Hopefully then you'll achieve your desired appearance if you do it right. So then adjusting or being adjusted would just be the process of adapting to the new way of living. So if you think about it, we're always making adjustments, constantly, because if something doesn't work, we have to tweak it. We need to be willing to change. And we'll have to accept the change if we're going to be able to be comfortable in our life at all. We can't stay rigid and the same. We must be able to adapt. Things don't always go the way we want them to, right? They don't always go as planned. Thank heavens, every day is different. Every day we have another opportunity, but we have to be able to roll with it. Roll with the punches, as they say. So I like things to be the same. And then I also like things to change. So at my root, at my base, I like to feel security and stable, but I like the other little things to change all the time. So I don't do exactly the same thing every day. It's just not how I am. I don't keep my furniture the same. I like to move things around. I like to shake things up all the time. But at the core, I want them to stay the same. It's kind of weird. So right now I'm on vacation, right? So I still have attended my meetings, done my work, still, working on my responsibilities. So yes, I've been able to travel and have fun and still check in. I did miss my Monday meeting, but that was because I was literally landing here when the meeting started. But for the most part, I've been able to keep my schedule. So I'm making my fun things planned around my regular work schedule. And my schedule is very similar to all my other days that I have at home. Now, guys, please understand, I am not encouraging any of you guys to take your work on vacation with you. I actually don't believe in that at all. I used to have this really stressful full-time job. I don't know if it had to be stressful, but I was stressed out all day, every day. So I would go on much needed vacations. And when I did, I told my staff, if this place isn't on fire, don't call me. Just handle it yourself. I didn't check my email. I forwarded it to my staff. I never checked in with them to see how things were going because I knew that they'd call me if they really were not good. Back then, I needed a true vacation to unplug, to rest, to de-stress, to connect with my family. Well, I live like that every day now. Yay. The work that I do now, I love. I create, I think, I plan, and I can do it from anywhere. So I guess this is what you call a working vacation. It doesn't even feel like work. So doing work this way is an adjustment. So kind of on work, kind of on vacation. I'm able to work on vacation when before I couldn't. So I plan to keep my meetings, but my colleagues, the people that I work with and for, know that I'm on vacation. And if something comes up, then I may, adjust my schedule and miss a call or something. We have to be able to allow the flow of life. I spent years fighting the flow, trying to control everything and everyone and wanting everything to stay the same, the way I thought it should be. Oh my gosh, talk about living in the red zone, stressed out, constantly forcing, striving, stressing. So it may have got me to where I wanted to go most of the time, but when I got there, I wasn't myself anymore. I was a stressed out mess. So if you're living in force and upset all the time, make an adjustment. You don't have to live like that. Ask yourself, which things are working for me? Which of these things are not working for me? And what can I do to change them? Because you can make a change, just little by little. Just little adjustments will change your life. Some of the things that we're fighting for, we don't even need. Some things that we fight for, they don't serve us at all. We don't even know why we're doing it. We just do it because that's what we do. So for example, when I still had my agency, I moved out to the country and my office was in the city. And my hours were, I used to get there at 8, we opened at 9, I got there early and worked until about 4 o'clock. So when I moved, I started leaving home at 7, but I wouldn't get to work till 9 o'clock half the time because traffic would get worse and worse as I got closer to town. Well, if I left at like 6, then I could get there about 7:30, 7:45, but that was still an hour and a half to 2 hours driving. But if I left at 5, I could always get to work by 6, like about 50 to 60 minutes. So I started going to work at 6. I thought about it for a really long time. So if I go to work at 6, I'm going to go home at 2:30. Now I can leave 2:30, get home by 3:30, right before traffic starts. Took me forever to think about it, but I made the decision. Well, guess what? My staff didn't like it. My customers didn't like it. They were all agitated, but we all adjusted. It worked for me. It saved me 2 or 3 extra hours a day in the car every day. But you know what? I did that crazy driving thing for several years, trying to keep everybody happy because I really believed I just couldn't change my hours. Well, of course I could. I owned the freaking business. I knew everyone would be upset, so I didn't want to cause a ruckus, but you have to do what's right for you. And for me, saving the 2 to 3 hours per day was what I needed to do. So right now I'm on vacation, and so I'm having to adjust my diet. I don't mind cooking, even on vacation, because I actually like cooking. But at the same time, going out to eat or maybe being on a tour or just being away from the resort, checking out the town, you're going to be away from your place at meal times. It's all part of the experience. You're not just coming here so you can sit and cook and eat every 3 hours, right? So yeah, I brought my shake mix with me. That's like my staple. I always have 2 to 3 shakes a day. And I want to make sure I get in my protein because it helps me to stay healthy and active and build muscles. So I know how to cook healthy Mexican food, and there's a store nearby. So since I'm in Mexico, I'll cook some Mexican food. So I got stuff to make chicken enchiladas and carne asada. I'll make some taco salad, probably some tacos. It's kind of funny because that's all the stuff that I eat when I'm at home too. I guess I love Mexican food. But I know I have to be flexible and willing to make some adjustments because I'm going to be going out to eat. So I have my Lose It app. And although I don't know exactly what they're putting in my food when they're preparing it, I do know what I'm ordering and I know what's in it. So I can just do my best to put it into the app, what I think. I'm positive there's going to be more fat in it than I care to admit. But I also know that I'm moving around a lot, walking a lot, and, just checking things out. I'm going ziplining today. So I'm going to be burning off more calories than I usually do in a day. So I'm hoping that, that offsets the higher fat content that they're probably putting in. And also remember, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't really ask a lot of questions. So my goal is to lose 2 pounds a week. I usually lose like 1 to 1.5. But you know what? This week is okay. If I don't gain anything and I have a great time this week, it's okay. I got to be flexible. I got to adjust my attitude. I got to adjust everything. So the number doesn't really matter. So I probably actually won't even weigh myself for like the first 2 or 3 days because, traveling does a number on your system. So to be honest with you, it's really kind of shifted my mindset lately. And I'm not actually on my diet to lose weight. I'm on my diet to be healthy. So I am happy that I'm losing weight. And oh my gosh, I'm really happy I got to buy a size smaller shorts to come down here with. Yay me. But I feel so much better when I eat right and exercise. I don't even want to eat bad anymore. So I stick to my plan. Also, there's a gym here. I checked it all out before I got here. So I love doing the rowing machine for my hour of cardio, but there's not a rowing machine here. Bummer. So I use a recumbent bike. That's an adjustment. but it's a good adjustment. A recumbent bike's good for me. I like it. So speaking of adjustments, attitude is everything. So like, attitude adjustment, you have to have a really good attitude to create a shift. And creating the shift in your mindset is what's really important. So we have to have a good attitude about everything, like the willingness to forgive ourselves and keep going on. The loving attitude that it's going to take to let people be who they want to be without trying to control everything. The positive attitude it takes to get up and try again after you fall and then do it with a smile. Not everybody does what we want them to do, and not everything goes the way we plan. So we have to have a good attitude. Sometimes things go even better than we planned, though. So I have a friend on this trip with me who doesn't usually wake up early, and now all of a sudden he's waking up early all the time. It kind of bugs me. Hate to tell you. I'm used to having the house to myself. Well, I wake up early. I'm used to having the world to myself. That's kind of why I wake up early. So for somebody to wake up and like turn on the TV is like, oh my gosh, it really aggravates me. So here's the new thing. Today I'm like, okay, I need the first hour to myself. So I'm going to take my coffee and I'm going to go outside with all my stuff and sit out there. So like means don't come out there. I closed the door so they would know I need to be alone. I also let them know after this first hour out here, then I'm going to go to the gym and you can have the whole place to yourself for the next hour and a half. That was an adjustment. It was an adjustment with a really good attitude. Be flexible. I mean, wait till you guys see the picture that I took while I was out there this morning. It was a beautiful place to do my Green Focus Power Hour. So now I'm excited. I got a new plan. So we have to be flexible, like in your being, in yourself, like in your heart. Be flexible. Control's in your head. The flexibility, the creation is in your heart. Got to let go of control. What works for you and what doesn't. Don't try to force things. So I got here early the other day and my room wasn't ready yet. They can never promise you early check-in, as if you've ever called for your hotel early. But when I called last week, they said, oh, we've got plenty of rooms, and I bet we're going to get you in early. You're the first one on our list. Well, that just didn't happen to work out for me that day. But I'm happy to report I didn't get upset at all. That would have been the old Peggy that would have said, but you guys told me I could get in early. Anyways, didn't even cross my mind to do that. This is me, the much more calm and loving person. I'm able to accept things and adjust. Open-minded. So anyways, they give me a key to the hospitality suite. And they said, your room will be ready, by 4 o'clock. And it was like, maybe, I got here at 11:30, so maybe 12:30. So I don't expect that anybody else is in this hospitality suite because I had no forewarning. So I go in there with the key, and then there's some stuff on the counter, like a drink and a backpack or something. And I said, hello, is somebody in here? Well, out comes a woman from one of the bedrooms. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I thought that they gave me this room. I thought I was alone here. And she said, oh, no, they told us that other people might come in here. We were just taking a nap. We've been up since 4. My daughter's in there sleeping. So she ends up staying out there and talking to me in the living room, and we became fast friends. She's great. She's a flight attendant. Her husband's a tugboat operator who's gone for 45 days gone and 45 days home. She owns home in several places in the country, which I think is awesome. This lady really speaks my language. She's a realtor, and I love real estate. I used to be a realtor, and of course, I'd absolutely love to be a flight attendant like she is. I think about that a lot. I mean, I might even apply to be one someday. Who knows? So even though they told me when I called last week that they thought I could have my room early, even though I didn't know anybody was going to be in that room when I went busting in there, even though I woke that lady up from a nap, my story has a great outcome. I mean, I got to meet that great lady. Her name's Tiffany. We had dinner together that night, and then we went walking up to the grocery store together and shared an Uber back. I'm going ziplining with her and her daughter today. It's going to be so fun. I was planning on taking a day trip to this artsy-fartsy town called Todos Santos and up to La Paz. They're up the coast a ways, so it's like you're gone all day when you go. I've happily adjusted my schedule, and I'm excited to go ziplining. And Tiffany and her daughter will be joining my friend and I when we take that road trip in a couple days. So it's going to be fun. We're going to go this weekend sometime. I'm so happy that I'm flexible now. I hate to admit it, but I think not so many years ago, I would have missed the whole opportunity today for the zip lining, because once I had it in my head that I was going to Todos Santos and La Paz today, I would have gone. I mean, I wouldn't have changed it. It just wouldn't have been in my mind, because I just was so rigid and stuck on things. Instead, now I have the opportunity to hang out with these two ladies and get to know them better. Zip lining through the jungle. Well, I'm not positive there's a jungle, but there's probably trees there, so I hope. It sounds so fun. So nice to be flexible. It's so nice to be able to easily make adjustments without any problem. So before Stress Mastery, when I was living life without actually enjoying it, living without living, I guess I could say, I could adjust. Believe me, I could fix whatever problem there was and then move on and still have a successful outcome at whatever it was that was happening. But you guys, I was stressed out and upset all the time. So this adjusting is easy. This adjustment is like, hey, go with the flow, Hakuna Matata, right? I believe that all of this starts by naming your ego. You got to hear the voice in your head. You got to separate it from you, because your ego is not you. That voice getting you stressed out, creating conflict, telling BS stories, not you. So once you get that, then you can start using the let go technique. Just those two things can change your life. It's sad how many people live their lives stressed out and upset all the time, like I did, constantly trying to force our will on other people. So we can have our way, or things are like in our control, or just that they're the way we think they should be. I mean, by using the let go technique, you can change your programming, and that stuff won't even be popping in your head anymore. You calm that ranting voice, that ego in your head, and all those things that used to matter start becoming so trite. They don't even matter anymore. I have no idea why I would fight about all the things that I used to fight about. What was I fighting for? I mean, I realize most of them don't even matter at all. They don't even come to mind anymore. I love being able to see people trying to engage me. Like, people will get so upset about things, and it's just like, oh, it doesn't even get a rise out of me anymore. And it's good for me to see, because I know that was me. I'm happy to understand that everybody's on their own journey. And if I can help them, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be able to. I love it when people say, Peggy, my gosh, you used to be so stressed out. What happened? Ask me, I'm happy about that. But if I can't help somebody, then I just have to understand it's not their time. And that's perfectly okay too. We're all on our own path separately. And then we're all on this life journey together. It's so cool. But I can tell you for sure, life is too short to be upset all the time. Too short to be unhappy. I am so glad that I'm not upset anymore. I want to remind you guys, you don't have to be upset anymore either. Go look at all the resources that we have in the Stress Mastery community and get your journey started. So remember, Stress Mastery community is free for the first 30 days. You can go in there and find your purpose. Do the wellness exercise and figure out what your diet is, what your stress responder is, so you can eat the right diet. Remember, the body supports the mind, so you got to feed yourself right. And while you're there, look at the 7 steps of stress mastery. You can download those too. The ones that I was referring to, number 3, name the ego, and number 4, the let go technique. Let me encourage you guys. Start to live your life on purpose. Make the decision today. You will look and feel so much better, so much more alive. And it's great to feel good. And speaking of purpose, please follow me at PeggyWithPurpose on social media platforms and check out my website at PeggyRomero.com. Thank you for joining me today, guys. That's it for today's podcast, and I hope that this will help you on your journey. If you can't make the big adjustments that you need right now, then just make a little adjustment, because every little step to your true self matters. Little steps become big strides over time, and every win gives you the confidence you need to keep moving. Remember, if you fall, it's okay. Learning to get up again is a really good thing. just make the adjustment so that you don't make the same mistake next time, right? Remember, our mission here is to create a shift in the planet, and you can join us on that mission by simply like, share, and subscribe. The links are right below the show notes. As always, until next time, adios from sunny Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Stay inspired.